Comal perch floats. I use this size here for the majority of them. They also come in a larger size like this, but this is the size I use mostly. And you get 2 heads, you cut it in half, and you get 2 heads out of one float. They come 5 in a pack for $1 or $2. I don't use this one for the Mylar popper because it's kind of short and round. This is a good shape. The tools, here's a saw I've come to like the best. The thickness of it gives you a good little rigidity. It's a reciprocating saw blade. You know, these reciprocating saw blades and hacksaw blades have a waviness to them, and you just file that off so you have more of a straight blade. Razor saw, which is very good. You get a good thin cut. The hacksaw blade's a good tool. Again, yeah. I don't know if you can see the little shiny parts. That's the hump that was filed down. And then this is kind of like a thick bladed coping saw kind of blade. Or if you have a supply of these, you can use a straight razor. You don't go, you kind of go through these a little bit. You have to sharpen them and stuff, so I really prefer the saw blades. Alright, now we're going to cut a hook slot in the perch float popper head. There's 2 ways of doing it. One, you take about the midway point and you cut an angle, and it'll give you 2 slow popper heads. You don't want to press down on these saws because it'll dig in to the foam and be hard to cut. You want to go kind of easy, and it'll cut a lot better. Okay, you got that cut like that. Then what you want to do is cut a hook slot in the bottom. I'm just cleaning out the front so I can kind of see where the center is. I'm going to mark on the popper head where I want to cut. You want to go perpendicular to the face and give you a line that gives you that's the angle you want your blade to be on, and you can continue it on to the back. About like and you want to widen and clean up that hook slot with a little sandpaper. I use a medium grit. It's kind of worn down, so I got another piece folded inside of there, a fine piece, just to give it a little thickness. And you just stick it in there and pull it through. It's folded in half so you get a little sanding action on each side of the slot. Alright, now we're going to cut a hook slot in the perch float, just to kind of mark it to give yourself an idea where you want to cut. You need to cut the hook slot first in order to use this, because the popper head is going to sit on this hacksaw blade. So there we go. Okay, you're gonna sand the faces of these smooth. A little sandpaper, good flat surface, and sand them nice and smooth there like that. And then we're gonna cup them. If you get a little, it kind of bends up a little bit, you can kind of take a nail file and just file that. Take that little sharp edge off. You're going to take your Dremel tool with a, I like this bit right here, it's got a nice roundness to it, and give your popper head a little cup face. I don't have any real formula for this, I just give it a cup. I'm going to change a bit out. If you don't have one of these, you really ought to check into it. It's a quick change. It's like a I'm not sure what you call it. You have them on most of your drills nowadays. You just hold the button. You don't need an Allen wrench or anything. You just turn the collet, and you could put different size bits in here without having to change the collet. And it's really handy. I'm going to use this bit here. It's a little cylindrical shaped cutter, and I'm going to cut a little groove near the face around the circumference, and that is going to be a little groove for me to, you'll see when we tie it, but I'm telling you now, to put your thread in to secure the Mylar off in the front. This works all the orange one there, you can see the cut real good. Little remnants of that foam from the cutter, and you just kind of peel that off with your finger. It comes off pretty easy. These perch floats have a hole in them where you put your line and you secure it with a peg to you know, fish with a cane pole or something. If you just paint it, the hole is fine, and of course you wouldn't have to circumcise it. But with the Mylar popper, the Mylar is going to be secured in the back, and it'll hold the water. Water would get in that hole and sit in your little space in the back and kind of sink the fly. So I'm going to stuff this up with a little piece of foam. Foam here to seal off the hole. So you cut a piece a little bit bigger than the hole. So when you have your thing cut about as thick as you need, maybe twice the size of the hole, you cut it again, like so. And what you do is you take and you crush the bubbles and twist it like this, and you kind of put it on the face, and you get a needle and shove it in and through, like so. Cut the piece off the front and just kind of feed it through till your foam is flush inside the cup face. Then you cut the back off, and there's your head ready to glue on the hook. Okay, we're going to go ahead and prepare the hook for gluing the head on. I use the 34011. In this case I have some small head, so I'm going to use the size 2. You can use anywhere from size 4 to 1/0 or 3/0 if you like. I'm going to tie the weed guard on. I use Mason hard mono 20-pound test, and it comes off the spool. It has a little memory. It has coils in it, so I like to straighten it out And what I'll do is I'll tie a loop in one end of it, and on my desk outside I have a nail, and it's I have a nail stuck into the wood desk, and I'll hook this loop on it, and I'll stretch out about 10 feet of the mason and just pull on it till it's tight, and then I'll cut off, I'll cut 10, 20, 30 weed guards. I'll just do it by hand here. I'll hold this, and I'll just take my spool and I'll just stretch it. You're not going to get it perfectly straight, but you get a lot of the curve out, and it's not critical. It just makes it easier when you have to cut a bunch of them. Go ahead and cut your loop off, and you measure one weed guard, and you can use that one to cut the rest. Start from about the hook eye, go under the hook bend, about a hook gap, mark it there, and then cut some extra for your tie off. Speaking of tie off, go ahead and start your thread a little back from the hook eye, enough where you can tie it off, and that'll be kind of your mark. Where your thread starts will be your mark where you glue your head. So you can think about that now before you got glue on it. Say about right there. It's about five wraps for your jam knot. Put your mono in. You want to tie it on top of the hook shank with open spiral wraps. Just kind of gives that head something else to stick on to. When you get to about the hook point, go ahead and untwist your thread and put them right up against each other. Finish tying down the weed guard. Go down into the hook bend, not quite half, but about a little bit more than a third of the way, and then come back up. Open spiral, and then go ahead and whip finish it. And then use your favorite head cement to coat these wraps that will make contact with the fish's lips. I use the Sally Hansen's hard as nails with nylon. Make sure you get it on the underside. And also right past where the wraps are, just to kind of seal that bottom. Go ahead and set that on the side to dry. You can even give it a second coat if you want to. One coat's usually good enough.